I was actually 11 years old when I was diagnosed with, it was dermatomyositis, which is a form of muscular dystrophy. It became very serious within months to the point where I couldn't walk anymore. I needed a breathing tube. Then there was a night I had seizures because of bleeding going on inside my brain. The biggest time of needing blood transfusions at that age was I had internal bleeding. In that time frame, I had received at least 90 units of blood, and it was life or death for me. Having that blood donation helped in my recovery to recover more quickly and get back to what I was as my new normal. It was just 8 hours in therapy almost every day, exhausted, completely exhausted. And yet got to the point where I was able to start walking with a walker, and I was able to come back home.
My mom called me and said, Melissa was in a really, really bad car accident. We need you here, drive safe. And that's all I got.
I opened my eyes and my windshield was smashed. I could hear people talking around me. I remember people saying, oh my gosh, she's pregnant.
They brought me back to the room where they had her in, and they're like, I think she's gonna be fine. I remember we're sitting around for a while, and then them coming out and taking us into a little room, telling us that he didn't make it, that we had a son. That was probably one of the toughest things to hear. Somebody was always in the room with Melissa, but she would come to, and she was intubated, but she would write notes to us, and then kept asking every day where she would point to her stomach, and then I'd have to explain to her what happened. So we did that, I think, 3 days in a row. That was probably the second hardest thing I had to do, to sit there and explain to her that we had lost our son. And then that started the blood counts not going up. They can't figure out why. They keep giving her blood product, but every day her blood count keeps going back down or staying lower. Just a lot of process of trying to figure that out.
It was probably the second day we had been there, and my mom was just pacing. And as a parent, you understand that there are those moments with your kids that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing, and you want to make it better, and you need to do something to make it better. All of a sudden, my mom, she just said, all right, everybody get up. Let's go. We're gonna go donate blood. So we all went down to the donor site, and we filled up their chairs, and we all donated blood. We knew that that was an act that we could do to potentially save her life, and we just never stopped. So we continue to donate blood as often as we can.
It was a tough road, and it still is. The silver lining or the beauty out of it is just keeping his name out there and doing things to help others in honor of him. I was actually asked to do an interview for Versiti. It dawned on me after doing that interview that we need to do more. I talked to him about starting a blood drive in Grant's memory. And it's been a success ever since. Last year, we ended up with over 200 units. But the previous year was our biggest year, where we ended up with, I think, 230 some units, which they said was just incredible.
Grant's true purpose is to save lives. He's inspired Melissa to host these blood drives, which has inspired me to become a rep, to inspire other people to host blood drives, to donate blood, and it just keeps going on and on and on after that.
I would not be here without blood donation. My children would not be here without blood donation. Knowing that there's happiness, there's smiles, there's laughter, there's joy. And doing that in honor of Grant for others, that can put a smile on somebody's face or hours to their life, just is super heart-touching for me.